Barbie and Ken, Clark Kent and Lois Lane. These dynamic duos represent a broad spectrum of relationships that are frequently idolized by most who want to experience love or are in the middle of a love experience. But are these love stories, from tragic to idyllic, at all associated with the way we as real people experience love? Do they cast an unrealistic view on love, romance, and the way that relationships play out in real life? Or does it leave us all waiting for the happily ever after that appears when the credits roll? Most finds show that love is a chemical reaction that is further deepened by physical activity. Others show that there is no real explanation for why we love who we love and or why we are so obsessed with it as a worldwide culture. As children, most females are introduced to these fairy tales where women are waiting around until they find Prince Charming. Even as I come from a background of divorce, I still find myself to be a completely hopeless romantic, waiting for the newly named Mr. Right. But where does that come from? Many believe that it comes from the portrayals of love and romance that were viewed by girls at a young age and ultimately lead to obsessions with Prince Charming and the way we believe men should treat them. From Disney movies to romantic comedies, we have all been preconditioned to expect certain things out of relationships and love, and I believe these expectations stem from these locations.
When the rest of me is down, you enchant me, even when you're not around. If there are boundaries, I will try to knock them down. I'm latching on, babe. Now I know what I have found.
There are many different views on love and the different types of love that we experience in day-to-day life. Love is represented in Greek mythology from the selfless love for another without sexual implications found in agape to eros, a passionate love with sensual desire and longing. There are also scientific interpretations. In the Scientific American Book of Love, Sex, and the Brain, the neuroscience of how, when, why, and who we love, Judith Horstmann addresses the neuroscience behind love and even touches on the benefits of love and sex. In the same book, she discusses the science between the different ways the genders choose partners. These are the most general and scientific bases of love, logical and simple to understand. These definitions of love don't seem to add up to the movie depictions of developing relationships. The differences between the films Boomerang and Coming to America can go over a lot of people's heads if they are not paying attention. In the first film, the typical occurrence that most of us are waiting for, selling us the dream that a prince of some sort will magically appear, sweep you off your feet, and you will live happily ever after. This realistically does not occur very often. In the first movie, Boomerang, a woman is empowered, another rarity found in romantic comedies. She is in complete control of her sexual prowess and eventually tires of dealing with the man and casts him off to the side. This change in dynamic of the male to female dominance in itself shows that archetypes of love in movies do change. But in the end of this film, he also ends up in love with a more docile woman, who was waiting for him to realize his love for her. It is almost like taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, giving men the idea that even when one woman doesn't want them, no matter what they are and what they do, another will be waiting right there, making women disposable. It gives women the idea that if they wait long enough, the man will turn around and realize that they are the one, like sitting duck.
If no one is around you. Yeah. Say my name.
Another thing that's really unique about The Wizard of Oz to me is that all of the most heroic and wise and even villainous characters are female. Now, I started to notice this when I actually showed Star Wars to my daughter, which was years later, and the situation was different. At that point, I also had a son. He was only 3 at the time. He was not invited to the screening. He is too young for that. But he was the second child, and the level of supervision had plummeted. So he wandered in, and it imprinted on him like mommy duck does to its duckling. And I don't think he understands what's going on, but he is sure soaking in it. And I wonder what he's soaking in. Is he picking up on the themes of courage and perseverance and loyalty? Is he picking up on the fact that Luke joins an army to overthrow the government? Is he picking up on the fact that there are only boys in the universe except for Aunt Beru? And of course, this princess who's really cool, but who kind of waits around through most of the movie so that she can award the hero with a medal and a wink to thank him for saving the universe, which he does by the magic that he was born with. Compare this to 1939 with The Wizard of Oz. How does Dorothy win her movie? By making friends with everybody and being a leader. Like, that's kind of the world I'd rather raise my kids in. Oz, right? And not the world of dudes fighting, which is where we kind of have to be. Why is there so much force, capital F force, in the movies we have for our kids and so little Yellow Brick Road?
The question of the existence of happily ever after is not one that can be answered by watching movies that end with the wedding. That question can only be answered by the moments you spend with the people who genuinely care about you and your happiness, even when they are mad at you. Even when they know that there is more work to be done than they ever expected. Love the way you want to, and not the way they tell you to. That answer can only be found within you. And if you are constantly looking for the typical love story that is offered to you by the media, you will most likely miss it.
You're the cigarette, and I'm the smoker. We raise the bet, cause you're the joker. Chipped off, you are the joke, and I could be the